Alright, what's going on, y'all? This your man D Pillar, and this is my fight analysis for the Manny Paquiao versus Juan Manuel Marquez for mega fight that happened last Saturday. And what can I say? What can really be said other than that Manny got caught beautifully. Not once, but twice by Juan Manuel Marquez. And for those that feel that the shot was a lucky shot, I want to show you something. I want to show you some video. For those who say the shot was lucky, here's Juan Manuel Marquez versus Rocky Sanatillo, if I'm correct, in a sparring session. And I want you to watch this shot. Watch carefully. Boom, right hand. Drops him. You need to see it again? I want you to watch this. Juan Manuel Marquez is a counterpuncher. Let's watch this shot again. Watch. Watch. Boom. Perfect shot. Perfect shot against Rocky in a sparring session. Now, let's watch the fight with Manny Paquiao, Juan Manuel Marquez for an excellent fight for 6 rounds. That was going back and forth both ways. I couldn't even score the first 2 rounds because they were so close. I couldn't tell who got the better in the first 2 rounds. I really couldn't. But now let's watch this. Now let's watch the highlights from the actual fight. Right hand, perfect right hand, drops him. Manny, a southpaw, always susceptible to right hand. Now Manny drops Marquez. Well, now let's watch this again. Manny drops Marquez here coming up. But if you notice, if you really look, you'll see that Marquez actually trips over Manny's foot. And they were back, so he tripped on that shot in the 5th round. That 5th round shot, he trips. He trips in the 5th round on that shot. But you know, Manny was caught with a perfect shot, and he was knocked out clean because he fights wild. He lunged in with a jab, with a right jab, and then was trying to come with a I don't know if it was going to be a left cross or what he was trying to do, but all Marquez did as a counterpuncher was step back, move his head to the side to avoid the jab, and land a perfect short right counter. And after that, everybody was asking if Manny was okay. Manny was dropped head first. Head first. Head to the ground first. He was floored. It is over. Now everybody in social media and all over the internet are just, you see it from the view shots here. This is a video that I found by Maestro Boxing. Shout out to Maestro Boxing. Just a wonderful shot by Juan Manuel Marquez, and he so deserving. He's so deserving of the of the win because I had Juan Manuel Marquez winning 3 times in the first 3 fights. Close fights, even being dropped 3 times in the first encounter and coming back to win the majority of the rest of those rounds to win the first fight. In the second fight, I thought Marquez won more clearly. In the third fight, I thought he won even more clearly. In this fourth fight, Manny Pacquiao was trying to get to the old Manny Pacquiao, who the old Manny Pacquiao's problem is he's the older Manny Pacquiao. He cannot do what he did 4 and 5 years ago, and he paid for it. He made a lot of mistakes in that fight. I mean, he was busting Juan Manuel up, but Juan Manuel was busting him up. A lot of people felt like Pacquiao was winning in the 5th round, and if you look at how the way a lot of people try to judge that fight was a lot of people make the mistake of giving Manny rounds where there's no clear winner. They automatically give those rounds to Manny Pacquiao. So they automatically give him the first round and automatically give him the second round. And you can't do that. Then in the third round, and even if you do that, in the third round it evens up because Manny got dropped by a right or overhand right. Then you get to the 4th round, and they were battling it out. That round could have went anyway. Either way, the 5th round, Manny won because he dropped Marquez. Questionable because Marquez tripped, but he still caught him. He still dropped him, and he was busting Marquez up. In that 6th round, they were going back and forth. And by the end of that, and then somewhere in that round, I looked somewhere in that round, and I said, you know, Manny's gonna get knocked out. It was something, a counter that Marquez landed early in that round, and Manny didn't look right to me, and that's why, to me, he was really going all out. And I mean, he walked straight into that counter, straight into it, straight into that counter punch, and it was beautiful. It was a beautiful one, and it ended any discussion of a comparison to Floyd Mayweather Jr. or any discussion as to Floyd and Manny fighting in a so-called mega fight. I never thought Manny could come anywhere near beating Floyd Mayweather Jr. Floyd is too fast, too strong, too elusive. His defense is impeccable, too good on his feet. Beautiful left hook, check left hook, beautiful straight right, beautiful jab, beautiful inside work, and you've never seen Manny Pacquiao. You would never know if Manny Pacquiao is even a good inside fighter because no one has ever fought him in a fashion to keep him on the ropes or fight him inside. Manny was exposed in this fight, and now, y'all, the floodgates are open. And the Pactards, this was a beautiful win for Juan Manuel Marquez because this, let's face it, is not Floyd Mayweather's day. This is Juan Manuel Marquez's day. I'm so happy for him. He's really my second favorite fighter. I mean, what he did to Juan Diaz, you've never seen Marquez stop. You've seen him drop. You've never seen him stop. And you've never really seen him beat convincingly except by Floyd Mayweather and maybe one other time. But whenever he fought Manny, it was always a back and forth battle, always close fights, close decisions. And this is the thing. This is the thing about that. The thing about that is, for me, the biggest thing about that fight, about their fights, is that Manny was always the more athletic, but Marquez was always the better, more intelligent boxer. And that's what people miss out on. That this is the sweet science of boxing. This is not amateur night at the Apollo. Skills pay the bills in boxing, and most people don't know ish about boxing. Carcino called it. Dwyer called it. Gambino always calls it. I mean, just different people in the boxing world, on boxing community on YouTube, called this fight. And it ended up being what everybody knew would eventually happen to Marquez. And if he better be glad this happened with Marquez and not Floyd. Because it would have happened with Floyd, it would have been more devastating. But at least Manny would have gotten a bigger payday. He passed over $40 million. And I don't know what's wrong with 50 Cent. At first, my thoughts were that Floyd and 50 are playing a game on everybody, and they're really, that it's really just a game that was playing to make everybody think they was going against each other, but they're really not. And, the judgment is still out on whether that's what's really going on with 50 or not. But, I mean, if this isn't what they're doing, if this isn't just them playing a divide and conquer game, and 50 is really that disloyal, making the statements that he's made, I mean, I will lose all respect for 50, but the jury's still out. We gotta wait and see on that one. But now everybody's wondering what's next for Floyd, what's next for Manny, what's next for Marquez. I would like to see Marquez fight Brandon Rios, because I think he would knock Brandon Rios out. I think that would be a tough fight, but I think he's too skilled for Brandon Rios, and Marquez can take pressure. And if he's slick enough, I think he knocks Brandon Rios out. Brandon Rios looked good in that last fight, though. And as far as Pacquiao, he'll be back. But I think he should retire, because once you get knocked out like that, man, that's game over. That was a career-changing knockout. I mean, he falls out of the pound-for-pound picture. He'll still be a big draw in boxing, just the same way Mike Tyson was. Mike Tyson was a huge draw in boxing after being knocked out. Mike Tyson, if you still fighting today, he'd still be a big draw in boxing after being knocked out. So the knockout won't stop him, Manny, from being a draw. But he was never as big a draw as Floyd is. And if they ever did fight, he has absolutely no negotiating points. There's no negotiating that he could do. And as far as and then as far as Floyd, where does he go next? I mean, what is there really for Floyd to do? He could fight Guerrero next. He'll destroy Guerrero. I was watching film on Guerrero. Guerrero can't take pressure. He can't take pressure, and he can't. He got dropped by the Cuban fighter after his prime. His name slips from my mind right now, but I was just watching that fight last night. Guerrero will be exposed if he fights Floyd. You can't do with Floyd what you did to Andre Berto. Andre Berto, I hate to say it, Andre Berto's a bum in the boxing ring. He doesn't have boxing skills. Someone who should be jabbing and punching, jabbing and moving, sticking and moving, and using his speed and his footwork and his legs to his advantage, has no footwork, can't fight on the inside, isn't busy enough. He was just the same thing that happened with Victor Ortiz. He was exposed. Now, Guerrero potentially has a fight with Floyd. He'll get his biggest payday, but he's going to get destroyed. And then we'll probably by September move on to Canelo, Floyd and Canelo. If not Floyd Canelo in May 4th, it'll be Floyd Canelo in September. But Floyd will destroy Canelo. He'll destroy Canelo because he'll stick, he'll move, he'll box. He'll pull Canelo into fighting his game. And Canelo, we really haven't seen what he can do against an elite fighter. Canelo has some issues there. And then you have Austin Trout, which Floyd, I think Floyd would, Austin Trout's a little big, but Floyd would get at him. There's nobody that's going to beat, in my opinion, that's going to beat Floyd Mayweather. There's nobody, in my opinion, that can beat Floyd Mayweather. I really believe that Floyd should take 2 more fights this year, if that's what he's going to do, and then just walk into the sunset, man. Just retire. The Manny fight is... The only reason people wanted to see the Manny fight was to shut the Pactards up. And the thing is with that, I have the utmost respect for Manny Pacquiao. He's not my favorite fighter in the world. I don't think he was really anything special other than the fact that he has a lot of speed and he's kind of unorthodox in the way he throws punches, and you know he got away with a lot because because he's athletic. The problem, but the problem for me with that is when you fight a master boxer, eventually sooner or later, especially if they have the same speed of you as you, or if they can time you, you're gonna get exposed. And he got exposed. Man, he got exposed, but he's very gracious in defeat. He's a very likable person. Manny's biggest problem is all of his fans, the Pactards, who don't know a thing about boxing, that was just berating, that would just piss the boxing community off for the last. But we've had to deal with this for 5 years, and I mean Marquez silenced all of them Saturday. So Floyd has no need to fight him. Floyd's stock only goes up. I don't care what anybody says. Floyd was already the biggest draw. He'll continue to be the biggest draw. You got knuckleheads and fools out there that have the nerve to say because Manny lost, that was a loss for Floyd. Now they were saying that now Floyd has no more. You know, he's not significant in boxing anymore. Are you crazy? He's one of the two biggest names in boxing, well, the three biggest names in boxing over the last 5 years. One of the biggest names in boxing over the last 15, and it has the highest grossing pay-per-view in boxing history, has the highest gates in boxing history, all of the highest pay-per-views in boxing history, broke all of the records, has the highest percentage of punches landed, has the best defense ever, according to CompuBox. And you think his career hinged on Manny Pacquiao. You people are crazy. Floyd's star is not connected to Manny Pacquiao. Period. Manny's is connected to his. Now that Manny's done, Manny's star is going to be more connected to Juan Manuel Marquez forever than it will be to Floyd. Floyd is going to go down in history as one of the greatest ever to do it. Manny's going to go down in history as the guy that was knocked out, one punch knockout by Juan Manuel Marquez, a guy that Floyd Mayweather dominated. And the only question I really have for y'all is, Manny, are you okay? Are you okay? Are you okay, Manny? It's D Pillar. Follow me on at Zay World on Twitter.